The goddess Sophia is cheeky. Hello, my name is Mariah. If you've never seen any of my videos before, welcome. If you have, super extra warm welcome back to you. And I just wanted to make a quick video about connecting with the goddess because it is obviously, I believe, of primary importance for every single person to do that on their own. However, it might not be super feasible to do it if you are living in a survival mode, if you are living in panic, if you're living in depression. The goddess doesn't want that for any of her creations, and humanity actually happens to be one of her favorites. And I would probably argue her favorite because we live within the dreaming mind of the goddess. If you've never heard that before, you can buy my book, Guidebook to the Goddess Who Became the World. Love it. It's on Amazon. And essentially, we are living in her dream as her dream characters. Okay, I know that sounds like whoa, 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 crazy, but it is ancient Gnostic, ancient mystery information. Okay, so people in secret societies, they all know this. They all know how malleable reality is. They don't want you to know how malleable it is because they know that we all dream. We all dream, which means we can access the dreamer, which means we can play with reality and really get to enjoy it. But what we need to know is the dreamer. And it is so, so, so important to connect with our planet as the dreamer, as dreaming our life alive in every single moment. The ancients knew this. This is why they revered the goddess, you know. The goddess has taken women's form. That is why the Abrahamic religions want to, you know, just put women behind blankets and you don't see them because they're a big distraction. Yeah, because we are the ones that have the power. Men, they have power for sure, but their power is in protection. Their power is meant to protect the woman and her magic, okay? Because our magic is not widely understood by the left brain, baby. It is right brain intel because we are connecting deeply with planet Earth. When we become active dreamers, not only do we receive intel straight from the source, straight from the main dreamer, Gaia Sophia, but we also have the ability to help each other and heal each other in ways that we don't do in waking life. I know that myself, I've had an experience where I was screaming, crying for help. And one of my dear friends, actually my publisher, Gracie, came and she just popped up as a floating head and she said, "Get it together, Mariah. You are in a dream, you have control." And then from there, I went through portals and it was incredible. And I love that dream so much. And you will receive intel from her as well that at first when you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't really know what that means, that's okay. These sorts of things can unfold over days, months, years, but it's important that you write it down. What I like to do when I wake up is I just take like a voice to text and I keep it in my phone so that I can search certain words. And then if I wake up during the night, I'll just like scribble it on something so I don't use my phone in the night. But essentially, she needs us. She needs us to consciously dream, for sure, to consciously connect to her as Earth, and 3, to consciously work on our energetic field. Okay, I've been working really hard lately on expanding my energetic field, and the more that I do, the more information that I learn. So something that I learned recently is that if your energetic field is condensed because you're worried or, you know, depressed or something like that, then you cannot hold the loving guides, deities, and ancestors in your field that want to help you. Okay, they can see you. They can be like, hey, like, what's up? But if your energy field is so condensed, they cannot live in your energy field with you and assist you. Okay, and I'm saying very specifically loving guides and loving ancestors and loving deities that want to move your life forward, because not all of them are. And you may find that if you are experiencing energy drainage like crazy, that you might have a not so loving entity, guide, or ancestor in your field that you're feeding. And it could even be a demon that one of your ancestors made a deal with many, many years ago. And usually the pact is that the demon will go away when that ancestor dies, unless they've made like an across lifetime or they commit your family name to that demon in exchange for money or resources or things like that. And I've seen that. I was food for one of them until I decided to cut it off because it's not my family, not my circus, not my monkeys, get out of here. And then it took me a while to really realize that. And then when I did, I had so much more energy available for myself. I saw my energetic field expand like crazy. I felt like I could think good thoughts about myself. I felt like I could really take care of myself more. I felt like I was worthy of taking care of myself. You know, all of these things, when you stop feeding things that are draining you, you have so much more power in the present moment and you become a much more effective dreamer. Now, I've also experienced people telling me that I give them healing treatments in dreams. And to that I say, you're welcome. I hope it helped. But these are things I am not conscious about, right? Like in it, but it's because I am an active dreamer and I am deeply, deeply connected and I know the dreamer, I know the goddess, and I work with her daily. We work on things every single day. And, you know, and there are times where she will kind of hand me off to one of her frequencies, as in a deity, a goddess, or, you know, whatever. And then it's in those things, I find the purpose of that is that she wants me to learn a specific thing from a certain deity where that is their specialty. And then once I learn it, she brings me back into, well, I've always been in her fold, but she kind of brings me back into her attention, which is very intense. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm ready to learn the next thing now. And she's like, yeah, you are. and then she'll, you know, I'll have another aha moment or something where maybe she has been trying to explain this thing to me, but it hasn't quite landed, which happens to me a lot. I often get things like years later. And yeah, so I see a cloud. It looks like a dragon right now. It's so cool. And essentially, when we know that we're in the dreaming mind of the Gnostic goddess, Gaia Sophia, the Aeon Sophia who became our planet Earth, shit gets really real. It gets incredibly beautiful. And two, she teaches us exactly what we need to know at any given time, whether it's from instruction from her directly or if it's from, you know, a deity that has a specific instruction or something from your lineage, things like that that you need to learn and bring into your energy field and allow that to be what feeds you. Not you feeding anybody else, but you taking your energy from Earth. Okay? So you want to breathe up energy from the core of planet Gaia. This is often gold, is how I see it. And breathe out any energy that you don't need. You send it back to her because she transmutes it into something that can work for you. The same way that she transmutes our carbon dioxide and turns it into oxygen. Okay, she's doing this all the time with our energy. So when you know the Gnostic goddess Sophia, when you are really like with her, you're going to learn so much about yourself, so much about the nature of reality and how really malleable it is, because you don't really know you're in a dream until you become lucid, right? So we are just in her lucid dream as her dream characters. So when we connect into the main dreamer, the main broadcaster, she gives us specific messages that move our life forward. She helps us to realize our truest desires. And what she was telling me today in the shower was so funny. She was like she essentially was saying that yes, people can manifest whatever they want and they can really use the energy that's all around them to turn it into what they want to experience. But she was like, oh, Mariah, she was like, I know what everybody wants. If only they would deeply connect with me, I can give them those desires and even more, even more than ever dreamed possible, because they don't know how big the dream gets. They don't know how good it can get, because our brains are not equipped for that. They're not supposed to handle that. She handles all of that. She has the most data storage there ever was, okay, that we have interacted with. And she knows our truest desires. So when we can work on expanding our energetic field, which is essentially all that is increasing our impact within her dream, then we really have her attention. And then she's like, okay, like, are you ready? Are you ready for the next step? And the next step is always more beauty, always more magic, always increasing your personal power, your wealth, your presence, your beauty, your energy. That is the only direction that the goddess takes you in. So she can turn your life into better than you ever even expected, or really, she kind of just says, like, just don't have any expectations, because she knows what your desires are and how to get them to you better than how you can. And that is why when people talk about manifestation, they're always like, you got to let go and detach. And it's like, yeah, you literally have to let her order it for you. Let her order everything for you. Sweetly doth she order all things. That is from King Solomon, the Book of Wisdom, that it becomes even better. The dream not only becomes even more real and you receive more synchronicity that we are actually in a dream that is so malleable, but that you become much more impactful in this reality that is her dream, the dream that we call reality. Okay. So what I want you to take from this video is, please connect with the goddess, connect with Gaia Sophia. If you don't know how to do that, grab my book. And I have tons of videos on her for sure. But deeply get to know her, because getting to know her sets you on a path that is not just some rabbit hole where you don't know where you're going. It sets you on a path of increasing your personal power, presence, energy, capabilities, and things you didn't even know were possible, because you are allowing the dreamer of your life, the dreamer of reality, to like get in there and hack the system for you. Okay. And there's not much better than that. And her whole MO is beauty. Okay. So it's never going to be awful. There is that like bug in the back of your head, like that virus that's like, oh, everything's going to turn out shitty and awful and whatever. And it's like, that is what's working against her too. That is the bug. It's just a virus. You just have to literally not give it your attention, because your attention feeds it. You need to feed your own energy field by working with planet Earth, which will increase your beauty, presence, your inner life, how people see you and receive you, and so much more. So if you have any questions about that, let me know.